Hey everybody, so I've got this really nice, if you want to call it a cheese board, paddle board, but it's beautiful. It's so rustic. I picked it up at that Brimfield flea market that we were just at last week, and I'm going in with the new IOD transfers. And I just love them. They're so pretty. And we're going to take out, they have like a September and they have an October, and then they have some of obviously the Christmas in here, but we're going to go in with some birds that are for fall. I'm going to cut those out. And I end up having to go in with Mod Podge because of whatever's on the board, it just wasn't, the transfer was not adhering. So I ended up going in with some Mod Podge underneath, dried it really good, and then I was able to put the transfers on. And as you can see, it wasn't going on, so I put my Mod Podge. And it's the best way to get it sealed, and you don't have to worry about it. And then once that was all dry, I was able to put the transfer on with no problem. Sometimes it takes a little elbow grease to get those transfers on, but they turn out really pretty. And then I end up picking out a couple of the flower transfers for the bottom, like one for each side. I think the colors go really good with just the regular stain that's on this board. That's why I didn't want to paint it and didn't want to do anything to the board itself, but just apply some wax on after, and you will see me do that. And I end up going in with a little bit more Mod Podge because it wasn't sticking, so I probably didn't put enough on that area. So we put a little bit more on, we dried it, got it to adhere, and then we're doing the other side. And there you go. Now there was some glue showing, and so I don't like to put the Mod Podge all the time on, and I was taking my gator and just kind of getting some of that off on top, and I end up going over it with the wax, which hides any markings from the gator anyway, but I did want to rough up the sides because I like that look. And now I'm going to go in with my bare wax. And I'm going to kind of go over some of those light areas above the bird where I kind of got off that glue. And you could see I'm rubbing it off. And that was just the glue that was on there from the Mod Podge. So I kind of took off some of that excess. And then you just go over it with that wax. And voila, it's all fixed. And then we go over it. And this is also seals the transfers as well. So we want to seal them. Even though I did go over them with some Mod Podge, which seals them also. You can do either or, but I do like the wax because sometimes the Mod Podge, even though it's not glossy, it will give it a little bit of a glossy look. And look at how rich that looks. It's so nice. Now I'm just going to put a nice little bow on top. I have some muslin, coffee stain muslin. I have my brown and black Jubilee fabric. And there's some black and like that mustardy color also that we're going to put on and make a nice bow. And got my loops. I'm going to put some pieces in here just to kind of give it a different textured look. I love that fall black and yellow. It's one of my favorites for the fall. And that muslin, when it's coffee stained, it really gives it texture. You really get a nice bow out of that. Put our last piece on. And we're going to tie it. We're going to leave it a little loose. This way we can really work with it when we get it out of there. And you're able to pull those loops around a lot easier. Then when you're done, you get it the way you want, you tie it. I like tying it in the front. That's how I do mine. And then we're going to glue that on. I ended up having to wait because my glue gun wasn't on, but I glued it on. And then I decided to go in with some of this greenery that I got. And we just added a few pieces to the bottom. And then I went in with a really nice tan button for it. And that was it. I think it ended up being really pretty. And I hope you like it. Tell me what you think. A super cute project and very easy. Thanks for watching, everybody.